All right, shalom, shalom to the nation of Yasharala. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises to the Most High Yahawah. He is the Ancient of Days, the Heavenly Father. He exists. Secondly, to his only begotten Son, YAHAWASHI, to whom was given all dominion, power, and an everlasting kingdom, who the Most High created to be an express image of himself. And thirdly, to the Rakakadash, which is the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of truth, which leads and guides us into all wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. I'd like to give double honors to the elders and apostles at GMS who rule well and who taught me this truth. And I'd like to say SHALAWAM to you brothers and sisters, or AHYCAM and AHYCAM, those of you who are out there diligently pushing this truth, and the rest of the 1/3 remnant who are the believers. I'd like to say SHALAWAM. All right. And as you can see by the title of this lesson, okay, I'm back at you again with another lesson going into the fact how the U.S., all right, is ready to adopt these vaccine passports, okay? How the U.S. is ready to adopt these vaccine passports, all right? And just a little, background information as far as these vaccine passports go, okay? We understand that across the seas, okay, like over in Israel, okay, nearly half of the population of Israel has received the vaccine, okay? And because of that, they went on ahead and they've introduced these these pretty much vaccine passport wristbands, okay? They're pretty much like these little black looking wristbands, okay, that have your vaccine information on them, okay? And they've also released different apps as well to show that you've had the vaccine, okay? And they pretty much call it a green pass, okay, or a digital green pass, all right? And you look over in Europe, okay, Europe is along those same lines, right? Europe has said that they pretty much want to have a vaccine passport, okay, a digital app or digital vaccine passport, okay, to be introduced before summer, okay, or by summertime, right? Because by then they want to have most of their population vaccinated, okay? Because these people want to, quote unquote, reach herd immunity, okay? In order to reach herd immunity, all right, step one, you have to get a certain number of people vaccinated in that country, okay? And step two, right, those people have to show proof of their vaccination, okay? This is how the return of normalcy, and that return of normalcy is going to happen, okay? Or this is how they're going to say that that's going to happen, okay? If you're not able to show proof, Salakia, if you're not able to show proof that you have either both doses of the vaccine or you haven't got the vaccine, what vaccine you got, where, when, guess what? You're not going to be able to go to these different concerts, stadiums, sports games, okay? And these are some of the major things that they're saying is going to restrict, okay, school, work, right? But guess what? You're not going to be able to go into these grocery stores either real soon, okay? Because that's what's coming, right? That's the draconian, harsh, strict laws that are coming, okay? But going into this lesson, more importantly, okay, we're going to see how that digital switch to those vaccine passports, okay, how that is hitting the U.S., okay? And that's why going into the title of this lesson, it says, hang on to your vaccine cards. The digital switch is hitting the U.S., okay? And this is what we're going to come to see in this lesson, right? The fact of the matter is, because we understand that the U.S., right, they want to reach herd immunity as well, okay? And with the population of around 300-something million people, okay, herd immunity, roughly 75% or around there, okay? So we're looking at nearly 200-something million people will have to be vaccinated, okay? And the fact of the matter is, okay, this thing is happening, right? You look around around these different states, okay, these National Guard troops have been more and more being integrated into these different states, okay? And for the sole purpose, okay, to allow FEMA, right, to use these National Guard troops, okay, to mass administer these vaccines, okay? And this is what's been happening, right? But not only that, you have numerous different facilities, okay? Like you have numerous different, big facilities, okay, that have been turning their facility, okay, into vaccination sites, okay? You have different schools that are doing it. You have different sports stadiums, okay? Because I live in Kansas City, so specifically, I believe it's the Kauffman Center or the Kauffman Stadium, okay, are turning into these different mass vaccination sites, okay? And that's why you have the U.S., all right, who has been able to say that first the number that they gave us was 2 million people, right, that they had been able to vaccinate in one day, right? But now the number is grown, okay? Now I believe they said it's around 3 point something million people that they've been able to get vaccinated in one day alone, okay? And the fact of the matter is, when you understand how they have a lot of these different mass vaccination sites and centers that are opening up, okay, and they're opening up these phases for vaccination, right? Meaning that they're allowing more and more and more people to be able to get the vaccine, okay, because they have different phases that they go through, right? First, they start with the elderly and the healthcare workers, then they branch off into essential workers, then they branch off into populations who are most vulnerable, or whatever they call it, which, you know, are targeting the Israelites, okay, because they say we are the ones who die at it from a higher rate, okay, and then they open it up to all adults, okay. But this thing is happening, right? When you look around, they're opening this vaccine up to more and more and more people, okay. First it was kind of limited and who could get it, right? But now we're at the point where they're opening up phase 4, phase 5 in all these different places, okay? That's how they're able to get 3 million some people vaccinated in one day alone, right? But the fact of the matter is, okay, hang on to your vaccine passports, okay? Hang on to your vaccine cards, right? Because that digital switch is hitting the U.S., and this is what we're going to come to find out in this lesson, okay? Through the spirit of Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, I hope it's edifying. Okay, so I'm going to play a video, and I got a couple articles, and that'll pretty much be it for the lesson.
And tonight, we are getting a glimpse at how our post-pandemic world could operate. New York rolling out a new app some people call a COVID passport, a one-stop shop that stores your tests and vaccine status and notifies businesses and venues. Madison Square Garden will be one of the first places to use it. News 4's Adam Harding is there live now. And Adam, how does it work?
Well, Gilbo, we know testing is so important to making sure that venues like Madison Square Garden behind us can open up safely. The city and state now promoting this new app that they hope will serve as essentially a COVID passport. Like when you go to the airport, you've got all of your documents in one place. Everyone we spoke with, some of them say this could be a potential game changer.
All right. And did you hear that? Okay. He said you have all of your information in one place. Okay. Going into that vaccine passport. All right. And guess what? The fact of the matter is, okay, this digital switch, okay, to use the first is going to start with a vaccine passport app. Okay. Israel has the wristbands. Okay. But guess what? Okay. This thing is leading to the mark of the beast. Okay. Because that whole mark of the beast system infrastructure, okay, it involves a digital switch of life. Okay. That's you heard him say it. Okay. It's going to have all of your information on there. You're not going to need to carry a wallet. You're not going to need to carry your birth certificate. You're not going to need to carry your social security card. You're not going to need to carry fiat currency. Okay. You're not going to need to carry any of that, because guess what? It's all going to be digital. It's all going to be on the RFID microchip. Okay. It's going to be on a digital. They're going to have digital means to be able to track and trace you. Okay. That's the shift that's taking place. Okay. And so, gradually, yes, they're going to start with different apps. Okay. Different digital apps and all those different things, different, wristbands. Okay. Because guess what? They're gradually introducing these people to this RFID chip. Okay. And you can look over across the seas like Sweden and different countries. Okay. They already have this thing in place. Okay. This is what we have to understand, right? Most of their population over in Sweden, okay, already have a RFID chip, okay, because it's a cashless society, okay, and that's the global reset, okay, that's what they want to take place everywhere, okay. So in order to do that, they gradually have to build up to that, okay. So first it started with the vaccine, right? You got a lot of sheep that are willing to take this vaccine, okay. Millions and millions of people are taking the vaccine, right? Then what? Okay, that's the first catalyst that shows you're ready to be a sheep. Okay, then what? Okay, you have the people who are getting these vaccine passports, okay, and these vaccine cards to show proof of that vaccine, okay. So first it's the card, right? But the vaccine card, it's faulty, okay, it's faulty. The virus could still be transmitted on there. You could lose it just like people lose their wallets, and all those different things. But guess what? You put it on an app, right? You make it digital, okay? It can't be lost as easy, okay? And it can be tracked and it can be traced, okay? Salaki, it can be tracked and you can be traced, right? Because that's what's coming. That's what this global reset agenda, okay, is pushing toward, right? And this thing is happening, okay, because we can see how they're gradually building up more and more and more to that, okay? Because this mark of the beast system infrastructure, it's already here, okay? It's just a matter of them gradually rolling this thing out, okay? But we're living in the times now, right, where this deal is happening, okay? And this digital switch has hit the U.S.
Yep, the city is coming back all right, and the crowds in Midtown are building fast. Now the state is hoping its new Excelsior app can help speed things up even more.
Would I have to join an app situation?
You would have to download
it. I wouldn't be able to do that.
Ann Callanan might need some convincing, but she's open to anything that can get her back to a Broadway show. It is what she loves.
I want to get back to the theater as soon as possible, yeah.
Who doesn't?
Did you hear that? She's open to anything that can get her back to a show, right? And this is what we're going to find out, okay? You got all these people saying that they're anti-vax and all this different, this, that, there, and the third. But guess what? For the sake of these people's livelihoods to return, for the sake of normalcy to return, for the sake of them to be able to travel or across the seas or travel to different countries, guess what? You are going to have that vaccine, and you're going to have a vaccine passport proving you have it. That's the only option, okay? That is it, right? So this thing is going to happen no matter what. You got these people who are saying that they're not going to, they're kind of on the fence about it right now, and they don't know. Guess what? Those are going to be the same people who are going to definitely take this vaccine, who are going to be the ones getting these different vaccine passports, the apps, the wristbands leading up into that chip, okay? That's what's going to happen, right? Because for the sake of normalcy to return, in order to reach herd immunity, okay, the majority of the population has to receive the vaccine, okay? Or else you're not going to be able to go to your concerts, your sports games, your stadiums, work, school. You're not going to be able to go to any of these places where mass gatherings of people can be held, right? That's just the fact of the matter, okay?
A lot of people don't, but I do. It was part of my life, a very important part of my life.
The first of its kind app will serve as almost a COVID passport for anyone to use at major sports and entertainment venues. It will authenticate someone's vaccination or show proof of a recent negative COVID test. It all sounds like a win to Father Louis Skirty.
Very convenient because I have both shots and I have, of course, the card. And I laminate it just so I always have it with me. But the idea of having it as an app and just showing it where you go, whatever venues, I think it's a great idea, very convenient.
Do you think it will help open the city up quicker?
Please, I hope so. I think so.
The state today also announcing a major milestone, 8.5 million vaccines administered, more than 1 million just in the last week.
This is one of the most exciting days in this fight against COVID.
The mayor, meantime, touring Citi Field as more vaccines were distributed to city workers. The stadium will soon be hosting baseball games, but for now, it's still a site used in the war on COVID.
See, all right, it's a site used for the war on COVID because they're turning a lot of these different facilities into mass vaccination sites, okay? But the fact of the matter is this thing is happening, all right? And then when you read the title, it says, New York rolls out COVID-19 vaccine passport app. New York hopes to use the COVID passport to fast track the reopening of stadiums, theaters, and businesses in accordance with state health guidelines. Okay, because that's what's happening, right? That's how they're gonna get you to return to normalcy, right? You want to return to normalcy. You want to be able to do the things you were able to do pre-March. Okay, take the vaccine, get the app, take the mark of the beast. That's the only option that these people are gonna have. The fact of the matter is understanding that sense that normalcy. Okay, that sense of normalcy, the return to your livelihoods, it's never gonna happen. Okay. It's never going to happen. All right. But continuing on, right, that was in New York. OK, we seen that was in New York, where they were the first ones over here in the U.S. pretty much to adopt the digital vaccine passport app. OK, and to begin to roll that thing out. But guess what? The entire U.S. is going to follow suit as well. Right. The entire U.S. is going to follow suit as well. OK, and this article reads, Biden administration working to develop a system for people to prove they've been vaccinated. Right. And what we're going to come to find out when we read down, OK, is that one of the ways that they're going to have you prove that you've been vaccinated is digitally. OK, is by way of digitally showing proof. Right. OK, so this is what we're going to come to find out. All right. And it reads, the Biden administration is currently working to develop a system for people to prove they've been vaccinated against the coronavirus, according to a senior administration official. Multiple government agencies are engaged in conversations and planning coordinated by the White House, as this kind of system will play a role in multiple aspects of life, right? Including potentially the workforce, the official said. Okay. And that's just the fact of the matter, right? Yeah, right here they're saying potentially the workforce, but guess what? This thing is going to hit the workforce, right? Because you got these different healthcare workers and these different essential workers, okay, who are getting vaccinated, right? And you have the vaccines being openated up to every adult, okay? So if you don't have this vaccine and you're trying to go into work, okay, and you can't show proof that you've been vaccinated, guess what? These employers are going to be allowed to terminate you, okay, or to tell you can't come in, right? And there's different articles going into how they're gonna they can try to use the fact that if you don't have a vaccine, that you can be terminated, right? This thing is going to hit the workforce, right? And this is what people have to understand, okay? And it says President Joe Biden has predicted that life in the U.S. could be back to normal by Christmas, right? Giving these Americans hope. And as more Americans are vaccinated each day, these vaccine credentials, commonly called vaccine passports, could be key to a return to normalcy by the end of the year. Okay. And they're giving these people hope, right? But what is the main thing that they're trying to do, right? What is Esau trying to do? Okay. They want these people to get vaccinated and they want them to get these passports. Okay. This is what's taking place. It says some sectors, meanwhile, like the travel industry, have clamored for a uniform system to be developed as they seek a return to normalcy. Governments around the world may seek proof of vaccinations before foreigners can enter their borders again, right? And what did it say? Some sectors, meanwhile, like the travel industry, have clamored for a uniform system, okay, to be developed as they seek a return to normalcy, right? Why does it have to be a uniform system, okay? Because when you understand it, right, they ultimately want that mark of the beast, okay? They want you to have that chip, right? First of all, it allows for them to easily track and trace you. It stores all of your information, okay? And if you're traveling from one country to the next across the seas, guess what? We need a uniform approach to this, okay? You can't have some people walking up with the laminated vaccine card, some people scanning an app made in the U.S., okay? Some people scanning an app made in China, okay? This all has to be a uniform system, right? And that's what this mark of the beast system, this global reset, is pushing towards, okay? They want that this thing is a global thing, right? They want to completely do away with all fiat currency everywhere, okay? Incorporate these RFID microchips, okay, in order to have that digital way of life, okay? They have that digital switch, okay? That's the uniform system that they want, okay? That way you walk up, right? You walk up to the airport, okay? Before you get on your plane, they scan your wrist. You got the vaccine, hop aboard, okay? This is that uniform system that's coming, okay? It says the administration's plans were first reported by the Washington Post. Okay. It says the Biden administration previously said the federal government should not be involved in efforts to create a vaccine passport system, right? To verify that people have been vaccinated. The Post, citing 5 officials who spoke on the condition of anonymity, reported the effort has been driven largely by arms of the Department of Health and Human Services. Okay. Right. And then it says White House coronavirus coordinator Jeff Zients has led the White House's role and coordinated the project, an official told the Post. All right. And peep this. It says our role is to help ensure that any solutions in this area should be simple, free, open source access to people both digitally, digitally and on paper, right? And designed from the start to protect people's privacy, okay? But if you have something that's going to be digital, right, you're not gonna that's automatically gonna be a restriction on your privacy, right? And we can see that with all these different apps. Okay, you download Facebook, these different social media apps. Okay, they always ask you those questions. If you want to continue, okay, and they know different things about your privacy. Okay, but that's what they're pushing for. Okay, it says that they Salakia, our role is to help ensure that any solutions in this area should be simple, free, open source, accessible to people both digitally and on paper. Okay, what else is free, right? What else is free and open to everybody? Okay, that they're opening up to everybody. Okay, it's that vaccine, right? So it's no coincidence that they want a digital and on paper access, right, to be free. Okay, but there's different articles going into how they really want to do away with the paper passports. Okay, they really want these digital passports. Okay, and that's what they're really pushing for, right? And it says CNN previously reported that several companies and technology groups, right? Because why would you need a technology group, okay, to come up with these passports, right? It says CNN previously reported that several companies and technology groups have begun developing smartphone apps or systems, right? Or systems for individuals to upload details of their COVID-19 tests and vaccinations, creating digital credentials that could be shown in order to enter concert venues, stadiums, movie theaters, offices, or even countries. Okay, Salakia. All right. And it says, but part of ensuring wide usage for vaccine passports is accounting for the large subset of the global population that still doesn't use or have access to smartphones. A few companies within the COVID-19 Credentials Initiative are also developing a smart card that strikes a middle ground between the traditional paper vaccine certificates and an online version that's easier to store and reproduce. Okay. But the fact of the matter is, we can clearly see how gradually more and more this digital transformation is happening. Okay, first it's the regular vaccine card, okay, paper. Then it's then they laminate it for you. Okay, then it's these apps. Okay, then they got the wristbands. Okay, then what did they say? The final thing is talking about a digital Slovakia a smart card. Okay, what does that even mean? A smart card, right? That strikes middle ground between the traditional paper vaccine certificates and an online version, right? But nonetheless, okay, this digital switch, okay, this digital transformation is gradually happening, right? But it's happening at a pretty rapid rate. Okay, it's happening at a rapid rate, right? That's the fact of the matter, okay? And I'm going to grab this one last article, and that'll pretty much be it for the lesson, right? But we can see, okay, how that m.o.t.b system infrastructure is hitting the U.S., okay? That thing is here, okay? And these things are only going to grow more and more, right? So we have to keep our eyes peeled, okay? Bear with me one second. I'll try to find this article. Right, okay, here it is. And it reads, experts say to hang on to your COVID-19 vaccine card, okay? And you see in the picture in that video, okay, it's a little COVID-19 vaccination record card, right? And that's what they pretty much really want to do away with, okay? They want to transfer this thing digitally, right? Make everything much more easier, okay? And let's see what I'm going to grab. Okay. It says record number of people in the Kansas City region are receiving their vaccination, and it's important to remember to hang on to your vaccine card. According to the CDC, you should receive a vaccination card that tells you what COVID-19 vaccine you received, the date and location of where you received it. Okay. And all that information there and more, okay, can be stored way easier digitally. Okay. Way easier, right? And it says, keep your vaccination card in case you need it for future use. Consider taking a picture of your vaccination card as a backup copy, the CDC says. right? And what's the future use going to be, right? And we've seen it in some of the previous articles, okay? To enter into these different businesses and facilities, okay, you're going to have to show proof of your vaccine, right? That's that's the fact of the matter. Let's see. Okay, and I'll grab this part. Yeah, okay, that's pretty much a wrap it up. Okay, and it says, some have asked, why are we holding on to this vaccine card? Dr. Christine Ziegler says it's nothing new. A lot of us had vaccine cards as kids. Our moms carried them. Even now, we need vaccine records for numerous things, said Dr. Zerges, SSM Health Director of Infection Prevention. From daycare to elementary school to colleges, many require proof of certain vaccinations. To travel to certain countries requires proof of vaccines, right? And that's what's happening, okay? One of the first things they targeted was the fact that if you don't have a vaccine passport, okay, you're not going to be able to travel, right? That was one of the major first things, okay? And then we see and understand how in order to get into a lot of these different schools and colleges and daycares, right, what did you used to have to do, right? You had to take a certain vaccine or you weren't allowed, right? This COVID-19 vaccine, okay, once they get to it, okay, it's going to be no different, right? All these people that are going to these colleges and universities and schools and things, right, they're going to have to take the vaccine, right? Everybody, in order to continue living how can't really say how you're living, but in order to continue with a sense of normalcy, right, guess what? You're going to have to be vaccinated and you're going to have to show proof of that, right? And ultimately that proof of vaccination, okay, is switching digitally, okay? That's what they're aiming for, right? Because that's what's ushering in this mark of the beast, right? But this thing is happening, okay? And I want to give all praises to the Most High Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM Rakakadash. And that'll pretty much be it for the lesson, Let me see if I can grab a scripture real quick. All right, Revelations 13 and 16. Because this is what's coming, right? You look at Sweden, you look at different countries across the seas. All right, they're pushing, they're making this thing happen now, okay? But you look across the seas and you look in different places, okay? This thing is happening, right? And now we're at the point where the United States, okay, they're ready to adopt these digital vaccine passports as well. Okay, and that's leading directly into this RFID chip. Okay, because we can see how gradually it's changing from one thing to the next. Okay, it's getting easier and easier, right? But it's going to lead to this. All roads are going to lead to this chip. Okay, this mark of the beast. Revelations 13 and 16. It says, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Okay, that forehead's dealing with Neuralink technology. Okay, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Okay, and that's where we're at. Okay, this deal is happening, right? First they had the vaccine, which was the catalyst, okay, to this digital proof of the vaccine, right? Which is going to lead right to that digital RFID chip, right? We're here, right? We can see the stage is set for them to roll this thing out. Okay, so we just got to stay tuned and keep watching, okay, because this thing is happening, right? And there you already when you read through the articles, they say how pretty much if you don't have this vaccine, you can't show proof of it. Okay, you're not going to be able to return to normalcy. You're not going to be able to enter into a lot of these different places. Okay, but that's what's coming, right? That's what's coming. Okay, and you look over in Sweden, right? The fact that they're a cashless society. Okay, Revelations 13 and 16. Or it's like Revelations 13 and 17, and then no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. Okay, you look over in Sweden, right? They already have that RFID chip, okay? And guess what? They're not using fiat currency, okay, to make purchases, right? They're not using fiat currency. They have that market to be system infrastructure in place. Okay. They're able to buy and sell. Okay. Because they already have that mark. Okay. But this deal is happening. And that's pretty much it for the lesson. I want to give all praises to the Most High Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Rakakadash. I want to say Shalawam until the next lesson.